the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 50 days till the kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone in to our second edition here of Hometown Sports interviews this year. Today we are at Van Buren High School, and first up we've got the Alma Airedales, and I've got head coach Rusty Bush with me. Proud tradition at Alma, been there for now, what is this, your sixth season?
Sixth season, yes,
Sixth
sir.
season going in, and just a proud tradition. Kind of the last few years, the wins since you took over, they're slowly creeping up. Last year, tough sledding at the end there. Ended up 5-5, but you really were extremely competitive in against some really good teams. Obviously, the last game of the season, Farmington, you lost that one 27-15. Farmington, obviously, with Tommy Tice, went on to the state championship game, lost to Parkview, which everybody lost to Parkview, the last 3 years. But y'all were just right there, close over or 1 point loss at Morrilton, overtime loss at Valonia. Of course, all those teams were really good last year. Greenbrier was another game that y'all were in and had a chance to win. Talk to me about how last season went a little bit and some of those key losses. I know you lost tight end Byron Standridge and Israel Towns Robinson at running back. Ashton, I'll let you say his last name. Chanabong. I might have got it right. At defensive back, but you got a lot coming back. You got 3 on offense, 4 on defense. I mean, I guess I say a lot, but you got a lot of guys that contributed a little bit that are going to have to step up and be starters this year. Just to kind of walk us through last year and what you've done so far in the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having us here, and obviously excited about football season getting a little bit close. But, reflecting a little bit back on 2024, like we have, quite a bit, obviously, we felt like we had a really talented football team, especially in the skill positions, probably as skilled as we've been in a very long time, and maybe even as a total more than we'll have in a very long time to come. But lineman-wise, we had a few. We didn't have a whole lot of depth, but we thought we were going to be able to survive the season pretty good, and we did. We play Van Buren. We lose that game at the very end. We're ahead the entire time, and then we give it away at the very end with less than a minute to go, and we let that one get away from us. And then we beat Siloam Springs, but then we go to Hot Springs, who's an extremely tough 5A team. And the year before that, they made a run in the playoffs, extremely well coached, and we take a trip down to Hot Springs. Our kids have never seen Hot Springs High School.
World class.
Arkansas, that's right, world-class high school. It's a great venue. It's got a lot of history there.
Yes,
and we were extremely proud to go down there. And, man, we really played our tails off in that game. Had some unique things happen beforehand that our kids were able to overcome. And we win that football game and really thought we were, in line to do some good things. We go to Harrison, which is our first conference game. And anytime you go into Harrison, you're worried sick. It doesn't matter whether you feel like you're a little bit more talented than the other team or not. Harrison is extremely tough up there at their place, and we go and we get a win, and that we really thought we were in a good position. And then, like you say, then we go into the kind of the bulk of our schedule. We had them all in there together, just the way the schedule fell. And Morrilton, Valonia, especially, those are one-score games. Against Morrilton, we try to win it at the very end of the game instead of forcing an overtime. We could have tried to do that, tried to win it. We're about 3 inches short that game. So that's a tough loss, obviously, early, but we got a chance to bounce back. We got some good teams in front of us. Play the Valonia the very next week with Clint Ashcraft has come in and has tremendously turned that program around. He's got a good senior group that's coming in there. And so we go, and then it's down there at the end, and I have a chance again. Well, do we want to win this football game now or take it into overtime and see what we can do? Well, with the lingering thoughts of the week before in my head, let's go for the tie and send it into overtime, which we did. We had a tremendous comeback there that forced overtime. We go into overtime, and we don't answer their score and lose that football game by a score. So that's another tough loss. But our kids are resilient. We go to Greenbrier. Now we're really got our backs against the wall against a really good football team. Greenbrier, huge up front in the offensive line, one of the best running backs that we're going to see all year long. And we go into late in the third quarter, and we're up a score and a half against those guys, and then again tumble in the fourth quarter and get beat in that game. So now, we're looking at we're 1-3 with 3 left in the league, and we've got 2 of the lesser teams that we end up beating, and then we do go against Farmington, and it's raining sideways. If anybody remembers that, we don't kick off on time, and I think that had a little bit to do with it's the way the game was played. If it was back in the day with just grass, we'd have been right there in the middle and been a big mud bowl, but we're in turf now. That's where it was played. I don't think either team tried to attempt a punt or anything like that. We played in the middle. We were ahead going in, and then the rain stopped, and they pulled away from us a little bit and then had a tremendous run in the playoffs. So, but to sum it up, I think, I know I've told our kids, we underachieved. We should have done better, but we were competitive in all of them, and we made some mistakes coaching-wise that are my fault that with a team like we had, we should have done a little bit better job, and we're going to make up for it this year. We've had to adjust some things on the way we got to play and the way we have to approach games. So a great group of kids as always. Alma is a special place. I tell our kids every single day. Come by and look at our facilities. Look at what, when you come to a game on Friday night in Alma, the town shut down. If you came to the Van Buren the game last year, at halftime, they're still trying to get people in the gate. They're stretched all the way downtown. So incredible. It's a great place, to be able to watch a football game, but it's even more great for our kids to be able to participate and play the game of football in Alma.
Yes, sir. Yeah, still a lot of good things that happened last year, and I figure finishing was probably one of the themes a little bit of as you got into this spring, because you were right there and had a chance to really get into the playoffs, and like you said, there's a few things that y'all could have done a little better and would have got it, would have had some more wins. But you got 30 incoming sophomores coming into this year and some talented guys. Talk to me a little bit about your new contributors that are young. We'll start there.
I'm going to name some juniors and sophomores as well. Here's what we've got. As I said before, last year's team had a lot of kids that had played really 3 years. The Ashton Chanavongs, the Byron Standards, the Israel Towns Robinson. Those kids have played since week 1 of their sophomore year. I think we ended up with 13. There's 16 total seniors last year. 13 of them had played since year 1. Starters and contributors. So you have a year like that. Well, what does that do to you on the back end? Well, these kids that are now coming in, doesn't mean that they're any less players. They just don't have the experience. Some of them are young. We'll play a few sophomores, we feel like, in some places. But we've got some juniors and seniors that I wouldn't consider them young. They're just inexperienced. And right now I've told a bunch of our coaches, I've told our kids, especially early in the summer with our competitive stuff, we're going to be fine. Now, it may be August or September before you really start seeing that, because at the end of the day, the game of football, the experienced team, the talented team, is going to win football games, is going to stay in it. We just got to keep our head above water and continue to get better. But, yes, to answer your question, we've got let's just start with quarterback. I think that's what everybody wants to know. We lost our quarterback last year, and we've got a junior quarterback in Chase Parker that's coming. Was our JV guy last year. He's done some really good things. And in the summer so far, I really like where he's at. And then we, luckily enough, a lot of movement around in the state of Arkansas. There always is. We do have a sophomore move in. Jay Lemieux has come in, and we think he's got a chance to do some really good things. He brings some special talents with him. Got a sophomore tailback in Dallas Perkins that's going to be really, really special. He's a young kid, but, man, he can run. He's a tough kid. He's an Alma-type kid. He's just that guy that's going to be there every day. We're going to, one of our offensive linemen will be a sophomore in Carson Avant. So, and you mentioned it earlier. I think, I've got 2 guys here that are returners on offense, and the only other one is one the center is a returning starter. Other than that, we're replacing all those guys.
Right.
And then defensively, you said 4, and that's kind of right, but it's technically 1. We do have 3 D linemen that played a lot. They didn't start the game, but they did give considerable time. We have 2 twin brothers. They're going to be juniors. Tristan and Colton Nutt, they'll both be back. And then Demetrius Humphrey, who's a senior, he's one of those guys kind of like this. I mean, he's a good little football player, but he played behind some really good seniors, and I think he's going to have a great year. So those are those defensive guys. And we're just looking for some dudes right now. I mean, we're looking for some people in the secondary, and we feel like we've got an assortment of guys to pick from, and we've got to do a good job of creating some depth. I think that's where we failed last year as coaches, and getting some guys. We played them so much early to try to win the Van Burens and the Hot Springs. We ended up getting a little bit banged up down the stretch that hurt us a little bit in those big ball games.
Yes, sir. Well, you hit on quite a few topics there, quarterback especially. You talked about Chase Parker, the junior. Junior, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And is he still battling out a little bit with John Crump, or you look like Parker's kind of getting a job right now?
So right now, I mean, we're gonna put him over Crump. But we have lost our senior running back right now in Logan English. He tore or has a slight tear in a labrum from a baseball injury at the end of the year, and everybody knows that front labrum injury can mess you up a little bit. So the chances of him being able to come back are pretty slim. So, but what John brings to us, he's a really good football player and had him at quarterback, but I saw it on your notes. He is also the 5A West or the 5A champion in the 110 hurdles from this past year.
Athletic.
So he's athletic and can run. So, wide receiver, we've also bumped him over to running back at this time because he get with Dallas and then probably losing Logan. John gives us a chance at running back to be explosive. We can score, I think, from anywhere if he touches the football. So that's just one of those deals. He had a chance at quarterback, but now with some injuries and things, we're already having to make some adjustments at that with John.
Yeah, I mean, definitely looks like you got some options there at the running back. We haven't even talked about, I don't think, Isaac Plourd. He's got a brother on the team as well.
Isaac and Tim. Yes, sir,
Tim's a linebacker. And so you definitely got a little core of running backs with Perkins, and we talked about Crump. And Logan English, of course, we'll see if he's able to come back, from that injury. Dallas Perkins, another one, 5'8". Oh, we talked about him. He's kind of a one you can't catch in a phone booth, I'm hearing.
That's right. He's going to be a real special one for sure.
Yes, sir. Talk to me about your receiving core. I know we got Samuel Schlegel.
Samuel Schlegel, yes, sir.
Schlegel, 6'1", 190. Good speed,
experience.
So,
Sam's coming back. Samuel's been a starter since his 10th grade year, since 0 week against Van Buren. He was an all-state player as a sophomore, all-conference last year. And look, it's like I've told many people, and he was an all-state player last year. We just and at times we struggled to be able to get the ball to him, and that was, that's nobody's fault. But as his sophomore year, he had a quarterback in the name of Jackson Daly that's now at the University of Missouri. So he was pretty good, and we could move the ball around and get him a little bit more. But I feel like what we're doing coaching-wise and some schematic stuff with him, we've got to move him around. I mean, people know how talented he is and how good he is, and they're going to, try to key in on him. But that's our job, to try to get him open and move positions, and then it'll be on him to actually – he's got to learn quite a bit. So, that's his goal this summer, I know, is to learn about everything he can. We've got wide receiver in Dylan Jackson. Dylan's going to be a junior. And I'm going to tell you, he was a sophomore last year that had he not had so much talent in front of him, he could have played as a sophomore. Right. But you mentioned some guys, Cash Ferris, Byron Sanders, Ashton Chanavon. There were some really good dudes in front of him. And this guy, he did some kickoff return and punt returns for us last year and was electric. And he's got a chance to be really good as well. Samuel, we mentioned. We've got some tight end stuff. Josiah Stallings right now. We'll have be multiple at tight end. And then the other one right now is another sophomore, Quentin Broadway. Quentin is a smaller kid, but he's put on about 25 pounds since his ninth grade year. And he's that kid you can't catch in a phone booth as well. He's got some extreme quickness about him. His hands has come along pretty good. We're going to have to be physical out on the perimeter, do some things that we want to do. So that'll be a challenge for those guys. But we do like what we've got out there.
Sounds like a good mix with Schlegel. He's a bigger receiver, and you got the more shifty guys like Jackson and Broadway, and possibly Caldwell getting in the mix as well. And then, of course, you got Perkins. Is Perkins a guy that you might get out in the slot at times as well?
He can be. He very well could be. You know, when we get a chance, if John can come in there and play running back, and Isaac Plord and some of those – Baron Daly's another one. He's going to be a 10th grader.
Is that Easton's brother?
Easton's brother. There's a bunch of Dailies that come through Alma. We've got plenty of them coming. Right. They got a 7th grade brother. He's coming as well. So, yeah, we got several things, and we've got to do a good job of that offensively, coaching-wise, being able to move some people around. And that's really our focus this summer, honestly, is to get as much in as we can and give our kids the best chance to win football games.
Yes, sir. We hit on the offensive line a little bit. Easton Daly, of course, looks like a 3-year starter. He's in the house. He's every bit of 6'3", 319, like he's listed for sure.
Yeah, he bumped 325 yesterday, he told me. So
oh, wow.
We weigh once a week. He's now
well.
320. Well, he had a 3-week break, so he told me that's what it was.
That'll get you. The big guys, you go on vacation, you come back 20 pounds heavier if you ain't careful. That's a good one to start with. Lachlan Flanagan, you talked about him, a senior, started about 9 games last year. Got some other guys. Looks like Archer.
Brecken Archer.
Archer, junior. And then, so looks like the line has got some experience trickled in there. You're kind of working a couple positions there to find out who's going to kind of start there.
Right. You know, it's all going to boil down to, because Lachlan and Easton really being the guys that Lachlan played quite a bit as a sophomore as well, but then was solid starter as a junior, and he's got all those games under his belt. And Easton, those are our 2 senior leaders in there. And then Brecken Archer mentioned earlier. You know, he's another guy that he played a little bit as a sophomore in some special packages that we had, but he was good enough to play as a sophomore as well, but he had some talented kids in front of him. So he's coming along, was a JV guy for us last year. And then of course, Carson Avant we've got is a sophomore, I think, got a chance to be pretty good. And Dylan Brumley is another guard kid that we've got is another young kid that I feel like will give us a chance to play. And we've got another one that he hasn't played football since junior high. He's going to be a senior. He's kind of been well involved in FFA, but he's a big old kid, and Parker Jones. And I think Parker, he's 250, 255. He's going to be a kid that can come in and help us a little bit as well. So we just got to find the right pieces, offensive line-wise, and then go to work. Okay.
Well, let's talk about the defense a little bit for a minute. I know Colton and Tristan Nutt working out at defensive end. You've got Plord back at linebacker. Looks like Isaac might be in there, or he's definitely going to be in there as well. He had 60 tackles last year. Tim had 80. So you got definitely some experience back there in the middle and at the edges there at the end spots.
We do. Like I mentioned, you mentioned those defensive linemen. They've got the most experience. Tim started just about every football game for us last year as well, and then his brother Isaac ended up making his way there early, had a big game. Actually put him in there against Hot Springs where he kind of shined there, and then we played him a little bit throughout the year. Smaller kid, but can run, extremely shifty. They're kind of 2 different players. Tim's a really strong. He's 195 pounds, one of the strongest kids we got, and then Isaac's more of a shifty player, plays out in space, does a really good job. And then Andrew Bush will probably be inside at that other backer. Those 3 guys could really play at any of our 3 linebacker positions that we've got. So we'll see. Andrew again, he's coming in. He's going to be a junior, not much experience from that. Isaac and Tim do have a little bit of experience, so he'll lean on them a little bit, I believe, to play inside there. We just got to decide what position's best, inside or one of our outside guys.
We mentioned Baron Daly a little bit on offense. Looks like he was one of the leading tacklers on the junior high team last year. Is he looking to possibly get some time in that rotation as well?
I think Barron is an inside guy. His dad was a fullback linebacker. His uncle was a All-American linebacker that I actually coached at Henderson State many, many years ago. So it's in his blood, and I think, again, he's a young kid, but he's got a chance. He's kind of a short, stocky kid that can plug and be an inside guy, can run a little bit. So he's going to find his way on the field somewhere. I know that. I'm not real sure defensively or offensively just yet. He'll have a chance to be in there.
Secondary-wise, you've got Braden Peppis, fearless. I've heard that he's a good one in the secondary. Jaden Peters. There was a running back, Peters, for Alma back in the 90s. Is that
not
any
the
relation?
Same.
Not any relation?
No relation.
Okay. Talk to me about those two back there. Looks like they got some experience, and of course Jackson Rust at safety. Caleb Lyles got some time possibly as well.
Jackson Rust and you mentioned Peters, and then Braden Peppis are all rotating at safety right now. And again, Braden Peppis and Jackson Rust are going to be seniors, and again, they're not really bad football players. They played behind some really good players, and so they're just inexperienced. Played a lot of JV, but now it's their time to shine. And some kids don't understand this. Like, we live in this microwave society, right? Yeah. But I think the thing that needs to be mentioned about them, these kids have stuck it out. Like, the kids don't do that anymore. They see things, it's going to be my senior year until I play, and I'm not going to go through all that work. But
school
these
choice.
Kids have, that's right, or school choice somewhere else.
Transfer portal, whatever.
And so, they're seniors that have really waited their time, and there's something about that mentality that you can get out of that. And we've had another move in. Brooks Belcher came to us from Greenwood. His father actually played years ago. His dad, Blake, played at Alma years ago, and they've moved back to Alma, and he's going to rotate in there, I believe, at safety as well. And he's a young kid. He's a sophomore that's got a good head on his shoulders. And then you kind of mentioned Caleb Lyles, and we've got he's right now rotating a little bit at corner. Sam's going to be he'll be a safety guy. He'll primarily play offense, but Samuel's another safety that we can play back there as well.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, sounds like a lot of good stuff here. A lot of talented guys that, like you said, haven't had a lot of experience, but it's their time now. And I like what you said a minute ago about some of those guys that kind of stuck it out. And it's easy to go 20 minutes down the road somewhere and get some playing time, but to stay there and shows that they love the program, they love the tradition, and now you can lean on them. So it's their time to shine. And I'm really excited about Alma in this year, and like I said earlier, you were just a couple wins, a couple plays here and there from really having a great season, and a chance to get back into the playoffs. And we all know, like you said earlier, at Alma, that's the expectation.
Yeah,
playoffs, state championships, conference championships, of course. Great program. We really appreciate you coming and interviewing with us. I'm going to get some of your players in here, Easton and Samuel. We'll get them up. But thank you, Coach, for coming down.
Appreciate you guys.
Good luck with Alma Airedales.
Thank you.
Go ahead, guys. Come on over this way. Probably you might want to get in the middle. Put me and the big guy side by side. We might rub elbows a little bit. Go ahead. So I've got Samuel Schlegel and Easton Daly. Did I get that right that time? A little bit? No?
Yeah, you got it right.
I got it right? All right, good job. Of course, we talked about both of them already a lot. Samuel, you're a 3-year starter basically at wide receiver, all-state as a sophomore, all-conference last year. Talk to me about what it's like playing for Coach Bush right off the bat.
It's good. He's a very competitive dude and teaches us really how to play and what it's like to be a team player and just doing it for your brothers, really. So, yeah,
yes, sir.
He's a competitive guy.
What's your experience been with Coach Bush, Easton?
Oh, he's been good. He really coaches us up and, has us, be a team and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Anybody tell you and your dad favor?
Oh, yeah.
All the time?
All the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Last year, some of those losses we talked about, Morrilton, Bologna, Greenbrier, and obviously Van Buren to start the year off, big rivalry there. Those are some heartbreakers. What's it like to kind of think about those after they happen and kind of fuel you to work harder in the off season?
Yeah, it just sucks. Yeah. Knowing you lost,
right.
Those games, knowing you could have won in the stuff that you did wrong. But
yeah, it's just
definitely helped build, to try to beat them this year, really.
You're just right there and you can't get it. But then you just got to forget about it, honestly.
Yes, sir.
Move on, yeah.
One play at a time. So y'all, your left tackle and wide receiver got a new quarterback getting broke in here. Looks like Chase Parker is probably going to get the bulk of the snaps there. What do y'all feel about him? Tell me your trust and faith in Chase.
Yeah, he's pretty young, but, he can put the ball where he wants it and throw it pretty far for how small he is. But he's still strong and tall, and I think he's going to fill in his position really well. So
yeah, he'll be good.
Yeah.
Can he run at all?
Yeah.
Is he more of a pocket passer? He's a
more
dual
of a
threat.
pocket, but he can still run.
Yeah, he's
still tough.
mobile.
Yeah, he's mobile.
Yes, sir. Talk to me about your receiving core a little bit, Samuel. You've got Dylan Jackson's been there with you, played quite a bit, and of course Broadway, Caldwell, just a few of the names. Some of those slot guys, that might come out there a little bit with Perkins and Plord. Talk to me about the core and just the whole unit and what you like out of this team.
Yeah, but we're all they're pretty small, but they're all really fast. Like Quentin is quick and fast and shifty. DJ's the same thing, good hands, catch the balls really well. And then our tight end, he's big, strong.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do they?
it's pretty good.
You get double teamed at times?
Oh yeah.
That ought to help them out underneath in the slot. Get some of those crossing routes going.
Mm-hmm. Get the crossers.
Easton, what's your favorite pregame meal?
Oh, we have all sorts of stuff, but I mean, I'll eat whatever. It don't really matter.
Yeah, you ain't got a favorite.
Nah.
It ain't country fried steak? No. Chicken strips?
I ain't had that before game.
Too much gravy might slow you down, right? You might come in about 3:30 if you ain't careful.
Yeah.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Yeah, Nike.
All day? Yeah,
All day.
it's been unanimous every time I ask that. Guys, we're kind of getting up against it. We got the next team coming in, but I appreciate y'all coming up here and interviewing with me. Great job. That's Easton Daly, and right here, Samuel Schlegel. Two of the standout seniors here for the Alma Airedales. Looking forward to a great season. Appreciate them and Coach Rusty Bush coming and interviewing with us today on HomeTown Sports. We're going to wrap this one up. We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll have the Clarksville Panthers on next.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus
the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 50 days till the kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
All right, Dre Miller back here on Hometown Sports Volume 2. We've got the Clarksville Panthers in the house. I've got head coach Mitchell Powers with me. Second year at the helm as the head coach here for the Panthers program. Talk to me about last year as your first year there, first year as a head coach in football, and talk to me about the ups and downs of last season and what you are gaining from that.
Yes, sir. Obviously, overall success-wise, that's something that, numbers-wise, that's easy to look at records and see the struggles that we've had. But last year, for installing a new offense, new defense, we felt really, really confident, really good about what our guys did for us last year. I mean, again, you'd love to say we'd love to have more wins and all those things, but building and changing a culture from where we're at to where we're trying to get to is something that takes a lot of time.
Yes, sir.
So we got one win last year, which was more than we've had in the past few.
Yes, sir.
And that's just an unfortunate nature of the beast that we're fighting. But we thought offensively we started to click a little more as the year went on. We still didn't put enough points on the board, obviously. You can definitely look at scores and see some of that. But there's plenty of games where we felt like we moved the ball and just couldn't finish. And that's some of that experience and things that we're still trying to develop for these guys. But
yes, sir. Late in the year, y'all had a big offensive explosion against Pea Ridge, put 44 on the board. That's got to be one of the games you're talking about where you see some things starting to happen and click. And, it's a culture that I know you're trying to set in place there, that, you took over a program that hadn't won in 3 years up to that point. And so, you got the one win, but you definitely showed, it looked like to me when I looked through the schedule, it definitely showed some progress. Looks like y'all got a little bit of a quarterback battle coming into this year, replacing some guys. My notes say I've got Ryan Milson and Braxton Rayburn kind of battling it out. Is that still kind of what we're looking at?
Yes, sir. Rylan and Braxton are kind of battling at that. Braxton's, taking it right now. He's the guy for us right now with Rylan. When Rylan's in there, we're looking to package things a little bit differently. Use kind of some of his strengths. That's our job as coaches, is take what strengths we've got from our players and
yes, sir,
give them the best chance to be successful. So Braxton's looking like being the guy right now, just most balanced, and he's understanding the offense. He's understanding what we want from him and how to control it, and he's taken that well so far from the spring and into this summer so far.
Looks like you got 4 starters back on both sides of the ball, basically. Got some pretty good-sized offensive linemen. Got one of them with us today, Cole Frizzell.
Yes, sir.
Big boy. We'll see him in a minute. 6'2", 330. Ben Holland, another guy, 6'1", 235. It's also here in the house with us today. A couple of your anchors there. Looks like Eric Cruz, Ethan Rocco, Spencer Christian, Cale Porter, some of your other guys trying to lock down some spots. Talk to me about how the offensive line's gelling and coming along. I know you're running a flex gun kind of offense, so talk to me about how that looks.
I say we've we're a little bit more just balanced spread than we are just some of that. We've dabbled in a little bit of that as well, especially when we first started, but just personnel-wise with what fits us, we're going to be a little bit more spread out balanced than we are in that. Up front, those guys that you mentioned, Cole and Ben, are definitely our two big guys up front, anchoring down seniors, leadership-wise, on and off the field, what we would want.
Yes, sir.
Able to manage, run the offense up front, and just be the leaders for those guys. And then we've got Cale Porter is another senior for us that we like as a guard, strength-wise. He's one of our top, strongest guys in the weight room. He's a guy that we look forward to having up there and be another opposite of these guys, still being able to control. And then there's definitely some toss-ups at those other spots. Some of those guys you listed, and then We got Julio Banuelos is another really big body for us, moves his feet really well. Just looking for him knowledge and understanding-wise to be able to get in there and know what to do. That's the big thing right now. He's got the strength and the speed for it. It's just understanding and running the concepts and knowing where to be. And then we got some younger guys. We've had probably our biggest group of linemen in our sophomore group that we've had in a while.
Nice.
As far as numbers-wise, we're just, sophomores, just trying to get them experience and get them the time, and they're having to learn, trial by fire. You better get in there and figure it out fast. And, you'd like to have those sophomores a little more time, but the nature of, just continuing to build the culture and the numbers that we've got, we're trying to get those guys in there ready because, they're the next guys up, and they better be ready to go now.
Yes, sir. So we talked about the offensive line. We talked about the quarterback situation. You got some experience back. We've got Denver Pickhards who are with us today as well. One of your very physical players, running back. You've also got a few others that are looking to get some time. Cho, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Bacho.
A little bit of a scat back, quicker kid.
Yes,
talk to me about how those kind of guys complement each other.
For sure. Denver's definitely our tough-nosed, hard-working linebacker. I mean, he's gritty, and he's hard to stop from getting that 3-4 yards, keeping you ahead of the chains, doing the things that you want as an offense coordinator. And then Ba has got definitely our most electric speed for sure. He's got good vision. He's pretty shifty. And just, his size, he's definitely smaller, which goods and bads of that. Good sometimes is he's harder to see. We can hide him in some different ways and try to use his agility and speed, get him out in space, and then you got to make a one-on-one tackle. If you do, then, great job. If not, then it's got a big play potential.
Yes, sir.
But they complement each other really well, and then, that's my job offensively is to make sure that we're using what they give us. And then Rylan is our next fastest guy behind Ba, so we kind of like to opposite those guys and spread out the field a little more, trying to make sure that we're not just handcuffing ourselves into one thing, just be a little more versatile with the agility and the positions that we've got. So,
receiver-wise, I know I've got a couple written down here. Slade Beans played some for you, and Jesus Gonzalez. Talk to me about the receiving corps.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of time previous years. Been guys that just last year we had Cypress Tuck that was our leading receiver, and he was really good for us. A guy that we depended on a lot in any down, any situation. He was one that we went to, and so they just kind of been behind him learning. Jesus got a little bit more time than Slade did offensively last year. Came in and made some good catches against Dover in the game that we won last year. He came in and made some big catches as a sophomore coming in a heated situation when the game was on the line, and he stepped up. So
yes, sir.
He's shown that he can handle it. It's just continue to get that next step from him is that what we're looking for. And then we got some younger guys behind those guys at all those slots and those skill spots. Ty Kimbrough, Topilar 2, Jaden Hasty, some of these guys. These are sophomores that are going to be battling with those guys to make sure they're pushing and learning from those upperclassmen guys. And then we got another smaller, shifty, athletic guy in James Cook that's coming back to us as well. He didn't play last year, but he's going to play for us this year. So
nice.
Gives us a little more depth at those spots.
Sir. Let's shift over to the defense. You've named off a few that I've seen listed and talked about defensively that are start with a couple sophomores that looks like you're kind of going to depend on them, and they got some talent. Topilar 2 is
Topilar 2, yes sir.
Topilar, one of the guys, Ty Kimbrough, another one, and then it looks like we're talking secondary there, but also looks like you're kind of got a little bit of experience coming back in that middle line or the linebacker area with Messiah Patterson and Trevor Daly. Talk to me about those guys, and then we'll get into the D-line after that.
Yeah, for sure. Denver obviously leads the middle of that defense, linebacker, and then Trevor's definitely had some experience there with him. And then Messiah is one of our top athletic guys at those outside linebacker. His has just been same thing, just coming back and trying to relearn and install and just brain-wise make sure that he understands his responsibility, his job, but he's got the physicality, he's got the nose for it.
Yes, sir.
He does not shy away from it. He's coming forward. He's doing the things that you'd like to see out of a linebacker. It's just technique and getting him where we need to as a coach. And then those skill guys that you mentioned, those secondary guys, Topilar, his ball skills are great. Just, again, nature of you'd love to have that guy get more experience in JV as a sophomore. You just love a little bit more time for him. I think that would benefit him, but at the same time, he is 100% giving us everything that we've asked as a coach. He's got the talent. He's got some of the skill. We just need to keep getting him in the weight room, keep him stronger, keep him locked in, all those things. But we've liked what we've seen out of him so far at camps and summer. He's just a very hard-working kid for us.
Clarksville in the 5A, very tough conference, going against teams like Alma and Morrilton, Bologna, Greenbrier. There's no easy weeks at all. And talk to me about kind of, what it's like to kind of get these guys that, you've been hitting on it already a little bit with these sophomores. It's very hard for a sophomore to come and play in a conference that's that tough. Talk to me a little bit about, your overall depth a little bit. Like, what were the numbers last year? Are they growing this year a little bit? Did you have a big senior class?
Oh, surprisingly, when we get everybody back, summer is just a crazy beast. I know that's for a lot of people, but especially with where we're at and just the nature of our kids and our culture and the things that we're still trying to get right. So we don't really see the exact numbers, what we're going to look like, but from last year to this year on paper right now, our numbers will be a lot better this year, which is surprising. You'd like to say, again, it's hard to recruit young men to come out and battle in what they know is going to be a tough challenge. They've been dealt a tough hand, and that's not an excuse. That's reality, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that we're not going to work. We're not going to push them. We're not going to hold the same high standard that we would if we were 10 and 0. 1 and 9 doesn't matter. Difference. We're going to hold the same standard, and those guys have done a good job. So we praise these guys. I know that wins is what we look at in athletics, and that's a big thing that is always going to be a focus. But what these guys do and fight in something when they know is going to be difficult, the adversity and the resiliency that they have moving forward, I know they're going to be better for it for sure.
Yes, sir. And you got some, we'll talk about the D-line real quick before we move on more, but Julio Benuelos, I know, is a guy that you are expecting a lot of out of this year, a junior.
Yes,
got a lot of quickness, good size, and playing in the front there. Is he going to play nose guard kind of area?
We're going to move.
You're 4-2-ish.
4-2,
okay.
Yes, sir. So we're going to move him a little bit, but he's definitely an inside guy for us. But he's agile enough to still be able to do some things that we would like. Gives us a little bit more.
You got any other names you want to drop that possibly working in the D-line rotation?
Ben and Kale will definitely carry a big load in there, and Frizzell's going to definitely be an interior guy. Try to get him in there, and obviously you mentioned the size. He's a big guy, hard to move around.
Oh yeah.
His aggression is good. His fight's good, and all the things that you would want as a senior. And then some of those younger guys that we talked about, battling at those edge guys on the D front for us. Misael Escamilla is a guy that his motor runs really hot. Just again, being a sophomore, he's still trying to jump in and catch up to these guys.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got the want to do it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're taking over a program that's been in a rough times. Back-to-back winless seasons before last year, and that's something these kids that it's hard. Obviously, it's hard to get guys to motivate, to come out and play. You're trying to get your numbers up. But it's all about getting those guys that'll come in and be the ones that you remember when it's all said and done. That when you turn the program around, it was those guys that maybe there was only one win that year, but it started that culture change. And, you're hopefully going to get a few more this year, and really start that process of kind of turning over the leaf and turning this program around in the right situation. But Coach, sounds like you got a lot of really good players, really good talent that, and it sounds like the culture's getting right, and you got a lot of guys coming out and playing hard for you, and that's obviously first thing you got to have. You got guys that want to do it, and you can work with that, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. That's Coach Mitchell Powers coming out and talking to us about the Clarksville Panthers and going into year 2, looking for some big things from them. And we're going to get some of their players here. We got 3 of them up here, and we'll bring them in. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I think we'll get 2 in at a time, and then we'll wait on 1. Look at. All right, we got number 10 here, Denver Pickharts, and we've got number 71. That's Cole Frizzell. I can't get that right. Sorry, man. I apologize. Cole, What's your favorite meal, man? Favorite pregame meal?
Subway footlong.
Oh yeah. Which one? Sweet onion chicken teriyaki, or you more of?
It's a custom one.
Oh.
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
All right. What about you, man?
Subway footlong.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, definitely one of the all-time favorites right there for sure. Talk to me about playing for Coach Powers. Second year, he's at the helm here for the football team, and he's been over at baseball for a long time. What's it like playing for Coach Powers?
He's very passionate.
Mm-hmm.
He gets after it. Sometimes he's getting after it more than some of the players. And I'm like, we need this on the field, but he's a coach. Can't do everything.
Yes, sir. What's it like playing for Coach?
It's a lot more intense, but it helps us get better.
Yes, sir.
Tries harder as a coach than we had for Coach Buckner. He was at his end. He didn't try as hard for us.
Yes, sir. So y'all got the big win against Dover last year, and had a really close one with Pea Ridge. I know you are looking to improve upon that this year. Y'all two guys, both seniors. What's it like leading this team and trying to instill that, that trying to start over and get this program to the next level and being remembered as those kind of guys? What's it like kind of being leaders on a team like that, where you got to kind of pump people up, get them to believe that y'all can definitely take this up a notch?
We just got to be intense on the field. That's all
Yes,
we
sir.
have to do. It's
I
not that
think-
hard if you bring the energy.
Yes, sir.
I think if us as a senior group don't really show up and show out, then it's kind of like all over the place, because it's kind of we're such leaders and such attitude, pusher. Like if our attitude ain't good, then the whole team isn't.
Yes, sir.
Right place.
Both of y'all will go both ways. What do y'all prefer, offense or defense, or does it matter?
Defense.
I prefer
defense.
offense.
You prefer offense. Week 1, of course, we got Ozark coming up next. They're in the house. Looks like y'all got them week 1 at Ozark, and they're in a little bit of a transition as well. New coach, and had a tough season last year. They got a lot of talent. They had a really good junior high the last couple of years. Big opportunity for y'all though, going into that game. What do y'all got to do to go in and have a good chance to coming out of there with a victory?
Close out on stunt plays. Those plays we were down at the goal line, we didn't close out and score. And then turnovers is always going to be the biggest thing. We need no turnovers.
Yes, sir.
More power on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that game last year because I had a knee injury, and I really feel like I should have played. But I was injured and I couldn't. And I think if I could have played, it would have helped. Maybe bring the energy up some at least. Keep us pushing through the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir. You're playing right tackle. You probably don't pull much in that position, but you like pulling, or you pass pro guy? You like getting downhill?
Pass pro.
Pass pro. Nice. Over for you, Pickard. You playing running back, a little bit of H-back, kind of move you around a little bit. You like catching the ball out of the backfield? You like just getting downhill between the tackles? What's your favorite kind of run?
Downhill.
Downhill. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Nice job coming up here, interviewing with us. That is Denver Pickards and Cole Frizzell of the Clarksville Panthers, 2 of the leaders, and looking to have a good season this year. Good luck against Ozark week 1, guys. Thank y'all for coming and interviewing.
Yes, sir.
All right, we appreciate it. That's the end of this one right here with the Clarksville Panthers. We're going to be moving on. We're going to have Ozark here in just a few. Give us a break. We'll be right back. Oh, I'm sorry. We got one more. Come on in, man. My bad. We had 2 in the first session. Yeah, we got Ben Holland coming in here. 4.0 GPA is what I'm hearing, man.
Yes, sir.
Playing offensive line and bringing the brains, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not true what they say about offensive linemen, is it?
No, sir.
What's it like playing for Coach Powers?
It's pretty good. I like it.
Yes, sir. Pre-game meal. Got a favorite?
Honestly, it's whatever's sponsored for the week.
Right.
I just eat it and don't complain.
Don't matter, right? I mean, you don't get 6'1", 235 being picky, right?
No, sir.
What's it like? I asked Cole this as well, and Denver, trying to instill belief in your guys that, yeah, it's been tough sledding, but you see some improvement and you believe that this team can really turn it around.
It's kind of a challenge in moments, and then there's other moments where I think our team really shines in that and just shows like, hey, we may have not had the best record previous years, but we're getting better. Our maxes are going up. We're getting faster.
Oh, yeah.
We're growing as a team.
Yes, sir. That's an awesome thing when you're kind of you got your kind of got a chip on your shoulder a little bit. You got your backs against the wall. Nobody expects. Not very many people outside of Clarksville expect a whole lot from y'all.
Sort of like the underdog story.
Yes, sir, for sure. Talk to me about you play a little bit of defense as well.
Yes, sir.
On the D-line.
D-tackle.
D-tackle.
And sometimes I get to go to end, depending.
Yes, sir. What do you prefer, offense or defense?
Defense, 100%.
Defense, okay. You like to hit people?
Yes,
like
sir.
To tackle? What's probably you ever had a pick? You ever had an interception or a forced fumble or a fumble recovery?
Forced fumbles.
Forced fumbles. Yeah. Okay. Favorite play? Pick six off a screen, take it back, or strip sack?
Ooh, strip sack.
Strip sack. There you go. Nike or Adidas? Or
Nike.
Maybe boots, right?
Oh, boots right now, but
snakeskin.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate you coming up here and talking to us a little bit today, Ben. Like I said earlier, I'm excited about what Coach is doing with y'all guys, and it's tough to go 0 wins, but last year you broke through, got that one, got that off your back a little bit. It's going to be fun to see where y'all go this year.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ben Holland, one of the starting guards for the Clarksville Panthers, and that's going to be it for our Clarksville portion. We're going to have Ozark right after this. We'll be back.
It's so hot, you're gonna think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not gonna believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 50 days till the kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
All right, we're back. We now have the Ozark Hillbillies in the house. We've got head coach Josh Watson, moving over to Ozark after winning a state championship with the Salem Greyhounds last season. Talk to me what that transition has been like, Coach.
Man, it's been awesome. I was able to get in there right after spring break. Started that Monday after spring break, and got to go down there a couple times before spring break just to see the kids, see what was going on down there in the weight room and how they were functioning, how things were working. That way I had a better idea when I got in there on that Monday on what we wanted to do and how we wanted to start to, install what we were going to do and just the work ethic and discipline that it takes to win ball games. So it's been an awesome transition. A lot of traveling back and forth between Salem and Ozark every weekend,
yes,
but I think we're finally going to get moved in and don't have to drive back and forth every weekend, so that's nice.
Yes, sir. Taking over a proud program, proud tradition at Ozark. Won a lot of games, been to the playoffs multiple times, and done some big things. Lost a couple of big-timers in Kobe Wilbanks All-State. Of course, you lost linebacker Eli Gilstrap.
Yep.
Was all-conference last year. But you got a lot of you got a really good sophomore class in ninth graders. I think the junior high is, 28-2 over the last few seasons?
Yeah, I think they've been 28-2 the past 3 years. And, that's one of those things that's great, but nobody remembers what junior high does.
Right.
Nobody cares what junior high does. It's what you do in senior high. And so that's something we got to figure out. Why, we got to make that translate to senior high football. And so that's been the biggest thing. I think it's the weight room. I think it's the all-season program is how you super talented in junior high and have been. But, talent only carries you so far. So we got to figure out a way for that talent and hard work and work ethic to allow wins to translate to the senior high level.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm looking forward to trying to do.
So the offense here listed as multiple from what I've seen. So kind of what are y'all kind of looking like?
Well, like it says, we're going to be multiple. We're going to be in the dead T one play, and then we may be in empty the next play. We may be in unbalanced. There's going to be a lot of different looks. I'm a firm believer in multiple formations. Plays stay the same. Right. Simple terminology, but multiple formations to run that stuff out of. I think that's what allowed us to win games at Salem. Was multiple formations, running the same stuff out of the different formations, but finding one that gives you an advantage. We hired a great OC, Cody Bullard. He had been at Ozark previously. He'd been the head 7th grade coach. And he's done a great job so far getting stuff installed. It's not a complete overhaul. I thought that was something important to look at too. He had a great relationship with those kids already. They already knew some of the terminology, and we're already changing enough on defense. Let's mix in what some of the stuff I like to do with the stuff he likes to do.
Right.
And it's worked really well because, our coaching staff it's an unbelievable coaching staff. There's a lot of guys that know football on the staff and can relate to the kids really well.
Yes, sir. Well, let's talk about some of those young kids. I know we're going to start out at quarterback. You got a little bit of a battle, but it looks like John Skolarski, really dynamic, got a lot of speed. Just a sophomore, though. He's one of the guys, and Cade Cap, I know, played a lot last year when Wilbanks was kind of in and out of injuries a little bit. Talk to me about kind of how that room looks.
Yeah, the quarterback battle, there is a battle. It's Cade Cap and John Skolarski battling it out right there. Both of them are going to see the field. If Cade's not at quarterback, Cade will be at running back more than likely. If Skolarski's not a quarterback, he'll be at running back or slot receiver. We're going to use both those guys because both those guys are dynamic players. Right. Cap is a kid who had to step into a larger, a role he probably wasn't ready for last year as a sophomore due to injury. But he learned a lot from that. Sometimes you got to take your lumps. And you learn from him. And he's a kid he really focused on the weight room in the off season. I don't know how much he weighed last year. I'm going to guess he's around 160. And he's a solid 180, 185 right now. And he realized I got to get in the weight room if I want to be successful in senior high football.
Yes, sir. What does Skolarski bring to the table?
Man, he's just dynamic. He's a different player. I've coached a couple kids that can move really well. One plays at Harding, starts at receiver at Harding. Won a national championship at Harding. Probably the fastest kid I'd ever coached until Skolarski.
Wow.
And Skolarski can just it's different. It's hard to touch him in a phone booth.
Right.
And then he's got the speed to accelerate too. So it's not just straight ahead speed. I mean, it's every aspect of it. He throws a good ball. And so it's going to be a great thing to have two quarterbacks and two guys back there that know the quarterback position.
Right.
I think those kids push each other. I think they have a great relationship with each other. So it's going to be exciting football with those two back there.
Yes, sir. Moving on to running backs a little bit. I know Lawson Wright, we already talked about Capper. Skolarski is going to play a lot there, whoever's not playing under center or in the shotgun. But Lawson Wright's a guy that comes back that got some experience in last year and did some things for Ozark. Talk to me about
Lawson's
him.
a good-looking kid. He's a thick kid, got big legs. He's working to get more physical. I think he's developing that. I've seen it from spring practice till now. He's a kid that's really developed some aggression and just being more physical. Caden Rosin is another kid who will play some running back. He's a big kid. He's probably 6'2", 220, and he can run really well. Mm-hmm. So we got some different styles back there, which I think that's awesome. You got to be able to rotate your guys and keep them fresh because we're going to have guys playing both ways. I think you do that. I think you can put your best players on the field.
Yes,
and through your summer work and off-season conditioning, you get them in shape to play both ways as best you can with the skill guys. Linemen, I don't like playing them both ways, but I do. Skill guys got to be able to play both ways, but you rotate them and keep them fresh.
Yes, sir. I remember a big running back for Salem about 4 years ago. I can't remember his name, but Rawson kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah, we had a Romine kid up there. It was about 6'1", about 210 pounds.
Yeah, he could run over you for sure.
Yeah, and Caden's that kid too, but he can roll.
Yes, sir. You brought some players with us today. One of them, wide receiver Casey Moreland. Talk to me about Casey's game.
Casey's a kid, I sort of picked out when I first got there, from looking at him, I had to stay on him a little bit. But he definitely came through. He delivered on his end. He's worked really hard in the weight room. He's shown up. He's been disciplined. I mean, I don't know if he's missed a practice all summer. He may know. I don't think he has. He may have been late once or twice, but, being there is a huge thing, and that's a step forward for him. He's a kid where we're really looking for big things from defensively. He's played corner in the past, corner safety type deal. We're working him at outside linebacker because of how he's grown in the weight room, the strength, and the weight he's put on. But he's also a kid that, we can slide back to safety when we go our two safety looks from outside linebacker. So he's a very versatile kid. He can play offense. He's a receiver on offense. He'll rotate some there on offense. He's just worked really hard for us and earned what he's going to get his senior season.
Yes, sir. We talked about Caden Rawson a little bit. Talk to me about Colton Rawson out at wide receiver. Looks like a senior for you.
Yeah, Colton Rawson's Caden's brother. He'll be at receiver for us. He's got really good hands, runs great routes. But he'll also have a good chance to start at corner for us. He's one of those guys that play two ways, like I said, and we can rotate him. He's a good-sized kid. He's about 185 pounds. So he can be a physical presence on the field, and we're just looking forward to seeing what those two brothers can do. That's a cool deal, being out there with your brother.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Y'all use a lot of tight end sets at times?
We do.
Cooper Perrin.
Yeah, Cooper Perrin right now, we got Cooper Perrin that plays some tight end. Easton Fox plays tight end. Rex Skaggs plays tight end. We're really looking at Fox at multiple positions because Fox is a dynamic player. And we need to be able to get him open in multiple ways, whether or not that's handing him the ball, whether or not that's running a drag with him, putting him at H-back. And, there's a lot of different things we can do with him. Cooper Perrin's more of a true tight end. Skaggs is more of a true tight end. blocker. You know, they're decent route runners, you know, good enough for tight end. Tight ends are hard to cover in a defense.
Right.
So those two guys are going to be big at tight end for us and allow us to free Fox up in different spots.
Yes, sir. Offensive lineman, we got Braden Sampley here with us. We got Rhett Skaggs. We just mentioned Spencer Gresham, as well. Looks like guard and center, kind of locking it down on the inside. Talk to me about that line and how it looks. Looks like you got a lot of size.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how many years Spinney's been a starter, but Spinney's definitely a leader for us, Spencer Gresham. He's a leader for us on the inside at center. You know, if you're going to be in shotgun, you better have a guy that can snap it well. And he's proven to be able to do that. He's a leader. He can make the calls up front. He understands the blocking assignments. He's just a student of the game. He understands what's going on with football and can almost guess your next move. Brado has been a kid that I think has started for him in multiple positions throughout the years, and once again another great leader. I think we were talking about today. I think he has a 3.8 GPA.
Wow.
And so, you know, he's just a student of the game also, can make the calls, can be a leader in the huddle when things don't necessarily go the right way, because people are going to make plays against you at some point. You got to have guys that are willing to step up and hold the group together in the huddle. And those two guys up front are definitely guys we're looking forward to do that. Another one's Eli Sampley up front. That's a returning guy, and that is Brado's cousin. And so, you know, we got a ton of Sampleys, it seems like. Sampley brothers and cousins, and it's crazy. It's nice to have, though. Not quite like Mansfield, but we got a few brothers and cousins.
Yeah, no Burtons.
No Burtons.
So, yeah, you mentioned Eli Sampley. Jackson Ross, I know, is a sophomore that you're looking at has a chance to play.
Yeah.
Big boy, athletic.
Yeah, no doubt. For a kid that's 330 pounds, he moves unbelievably well, especially as a sophomore at that size. He's built extremely well. He's a very good baseball player, too. In fact, today was his first day here this week. He's been in Georgia playing in a travel ball tournament.
Now that you say that, I remember the name now from baseball.
And I love multiple sport athletes, so I have no problem with him. He's competing, and that counts for a lot. That's what we want our kids to do in everything is compete. And, you know, we look for big things from Jackson. The Dunn brothers are also we need them to step up on the offensive line. You know, we got quite a bit of depth up front, I feel like, guys that can step in and play. And, you know, if you're good up front, you have a chance to win ball games.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's just transition right over into defense, talk about the up front guys. Of course, we got Skaggs in the house here. He's going to play some defensive end for you as well. Does Braden or Spencer, they go both ways?
No, I mean, they may play some on defense, but they're not going to play a lot. I try and keep kids, linemen, from having to play both ways. You know, there may be situations where we put Brado in at nose guard or Spinney in at tackle, certain situations. But, you know, I try and keep those guys to one side of the ball.
Yes, sir.
Especially on the offensive line, so they can go over and talk about what they're seeing with the front, because your offensive linemen are huge to what you're calling.
Oh, yes, sir.
As a play caller, and that'll be great for them to sit down with Coach Bullard and talk with him about the looks they're getting, and Coach Perrin about the looks they're getting up front.
Yeah,
but up front, you know, we got a lot of guys that can play. Blaine Childers is returning. Blaine Childers is a guy that's going to play some offense and defense. You know, he has a chance to be an all-state nose guard. He is a very good nose guard. I think he's a Division II type nose guard.
Nice.
He's about 6'1", about 5'11", 6 foot, 260. Strong as all get out. I mean, one of the strongest kids I've coached, and he understands how to play. We just got to play with that motor every single play. And I think, you know, if we can primarily keep him on defense, he could really have a special season at nose guard.
Landon Cooper, another name that's going to
Landon Cooper is another kid that's going to contribute on at defensive end, D-tackle, whatever you want to call it, in a 3-3 stack. And, you know, we're going to rotate a lot of guys, and a lot of guys can play that. The Dunn brothers can play it. Cooper Perrin can go down and play it. Easton Fox is going to play D-tackle. I mean, he's in an extremely athletic 5 technique coming off the edge. And then you have a little bit bigger guy over there on the other side, and Blaine can slide out to tackle. I mean, I want my defensive lineman to be able to play all 3 positions.
Yes,
you know, I want athletes out there that can run.
Right.
Defensively, you know, our defense is built on getting pressure on the quarterback because that's the leader of the other team. So the more we can get him rattled, the better chance we have to win a ball game.
Yes, sir. Looks like y'all got a lot of depth coming back, some experience at linebacker, Aiden Richardson, Hayden Gilstrap, two of the guys that played a lot last year. Talk to me about that group.
Yeah, that group really is probably our thinnest group we have.
Oh, really? That's a good thing when you got two starters
they're switching
back.
from like a 4-3, 4-2 type look, and we're going to a 3-3 stack, which we really are playing 5 linebackers. And, that's something we had to change. We had to move some guys around to get linebackers. Lawson Wright moved from safety to outside linebacker. Casey Moreland moved from corner to outside linebacker. And we have some sophomores that are going to step up, I think, and really have a great season. Easton Sampley's looked really good at team camps. Along with Gilstrap, along with Richardson, and Kenyon Conley's another one that I think could really be a special player. That's just going to be a sophomore, and has really had a great spring ball session and has made a lot of progress from spring ball to where we're at right now, 1 week after dead period.
Yes, sir. So talk to me about kind of some things that you've been pleasantly surprised about since you've been to Ozark.
Oh, it's just the kids' work ethic. I think showing up had been a little bit of an issue before I got there, but we haven't had one issue with it. I think our attendance rate in senior high has been about 94, 95%. And, I mean, some of those kids told me it still counts against them, but they told me a month or two ahead of time, hey, we're going on vacation this week.
Right.
But it still counts. I still dock it against us. But we're at, if I take away those, I think we're at like 97, 98%. Attendance rate. So our kids have shown up. They've worked. Weight room's hot. It's not air conditioned. But I think that's going to, that is still some toughness. The weight room's where you develop toughness. And I think that's where we got to win football games at Ozark is in the weight room.
Yes, sir.
And by our work ethic and toughness and just mental and physical toughness.
Well, you're taking over a very tradition-rich program like we talked about earlier. Last year, if you look just at the last 5 years, 9 wins, 8 wins, 8 wins, 10 wins, and then last year the 4 wins. It's the one that sticks out. It's not the norm at Ozark.
Yep.
But we clearly see there is a lot of talent. And when I was going over some notes for you before you got here, and also seeing the junior high team, and, of course, you're bringing your pedigree and that work ethic that you could tell Salem always played hard and was well coached and obviously getting it done last year against a good Bismarck team in a state championship game and had a tough road to get to the championship.
Yeah, it was
and then
unbelievably tough.
Right.
That's why you schedule tough non-conference too.
Yeah.
It prepares you for the playoffs, and that's something at Salem. We played Newport, we played Prescott, and we played Pocahontas non-conference. Well, here you get Clarksville, 5A. That's a rivalry game they've been playing, 100-something years, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You play Boonville week 1. I mean, Boonville's a top 5 3A team every single year, got a chance to win it every single year in 3A. You get them. And then you get to Charleston, who's a top 5 3A team every year.
Yes, sir.
So you're playing a non-conference schedule that is going to prepare you for the playoffs. I know it's 4A. I know there's a difference between 4A and 3A, but those 3A teams, can be successful in 4A too.
Not every 3A team's named Boonville. That's you're not going to play a team that's any tougher. For sure.
No doubt.
On
and so,
any level.
I love our non-conference schedule being that you play 3 rivalry games, and you're going to have to come ready to play 3 weeks in a row.
Yes, sir.
Even against it doesn't matter who it's against. You're going to have to come ready to play, and then that prepares you for the conference slate, which is brutal.
Yes, sir.
Dardanelle starting out number 1 in the state, and much deserved number 1 in the state. But we get them week 10, so that'll be a fun game for sure.
Oh yeah, yep. So. Yeah, you get into it, 3 really tough games. Then you get Waldron, Dover, Mina. Mina's definitely a program been on the rise the last few years.
Yeah, coach down there has done a great job with them.
Pottsville lost a lot last year. They still got a lot coming back. And then you already talked about Dardanelle. Lamar's always a tough team.
Yes.
And Clinton, same way. Hard-nosed. Yeah. It's always tough. And you got to go to Clinton. Hard to get a win there.
And I think Clinton's probably got one of the better teams they've had recently.
Yes.
We've seen them at team camp. They looked really good. They did really good at a 7-on-7 down there at Benton or somewhere like that. So,
yeah,
it'll be a tough schedule. But, I mean, that's why we put the kids through tough stuff in the summer so that they can learn how to deal with some adversity and learn how to preserve, make it through tough things.
Yes, sir.
Because, like I said, you're going to face adversity in a football game.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach Watson, it's really nice meeting you in person for the first time. I've done some games where y'all were on the other sidelines a few times, but it's going to be exciting to see how it looks this year. I know the Ozark fans are excited. A lot of tradition, a lot of talent on this team, a lot of great names, a lot of history, a lot of legacy kids in here as well.
And it's a community that wants to win.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt. They eat, sleep, and breathe football.
Yes, sir. It's going to be fun to see how it all works out this year and to see kind of who kind of rises to the top and locks down some of those spots. But Coach Watson, appreciate you coming up here. We're going to get 4 of your players in here.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll go
hopefully
from there.
They don't freeze up.
Yeah, we'll work it out of them, hopefully.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for what you do.
Looks like first up we got wide receiver, cornerback Casey Moreland, and we've also got the center, Spencer Gresham. What do you call you, Spinny? Spinny? All right. Yeah, move your mic just a little bit down below your lip. That'll work. Guys, first year, of course, Jeremy Burns was up there at Ozark for 23 years. Head coach for, I think, several of them, 104 and 61 as a head coach. He's a legacy there, done a lot of great things, had a lot of wins, and had a great program. Of course, now you got Josh Watson for the first time coming in from Salem, took them to their first ever state championship. I could tell by talking to him up close in person that he's a disciplinarian. He's going to get into you a little bit and make sure you're doing things right. What's it been like playing for Coach so far this year?
It's been a lot different, a lot more intensity.
Yes, sir.
Just you're going to be held accountable, and I think that's what boosted that attendance with guys showing up, and his involvement and the level of energy he brings by himself is just it's a game changer on the field.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's basically, mainly energy from him. That's what everybody got from him, I feel like. And it gave everyone hope for our football team after we went 4-7. So.
Yes, sir. So both of you mostly play Moreland, you definitely play both sides. I don't know if you played a little bit. He said in certain situations he'd prefer not for the offensive line to play on the defense too much, but what's it kind of like what you're learning in this new offense? We'll start there from what you did last year to what you're doing this year, which he said, your coordinators, you are meshing pretty well, kind of using some of the old and some of the new. But what do you like so far?
I love being able to just be able to do the same play, like run the same plays out of different sets and just keep the defense guessing. Like you never know what's coming. And we can just attack from so many angles, and just to be able to go from running in the gun and then you go under center and nothing changes, and you just never know what we could be running at you and like where we're attacking.
Able to kind of keep it simple, even though for the defensive side they have no clue because you're changing personnel, you're changing the formation, but for y'all it's not a whole lot of plays. It doesn't seem near as much as what they're having to prepare for. What do you think about it so far?
The wing tee I don't really know much about because I'm a receiver, but we mainly run our old stuff, like pass plays. We run our old pass plays. I'm used to it. I'm ready for what comes.
Yes, sir.
So
defensively, you've been playing a lot of corner over the last few years. What do you like better, defense or offense?
Well, that's a really good question. I like getting the ball, but I also like – I'm an ankle biter, I feel like, so
okay.
I like defense a lot.
Yeah. Y'all 4 wins last year wasn't the typical – it wasn't what y'all had planned. I know y'all battled through some injuries as well. Talk to me about what that felt like and how y'all want to right the ship this year. Both of y'all looks like you're both seniors, I believe. What is that? What's that look like for y'all?
Last year we dealt with a lot of injuries, and I think we were good the first 3 games, those non-conference. It was rough. The rough Boonville game, Kobe getting hurt.
We covered that one on the Arkansas Sports Network. I was there for sure, helping call that one. Go ahead.
And then the Charleston game was just a big jump. Be able to come from behind and then take over that game, especially up front, and just to be able to dominate. And then we got a little high and left, kind of overlooked, going into Waldron, and they came out, knocked us in the mouth, and we learned real quick. And then we had our head down, just not communicating very well. Just that Waldron game was what offset everything.
Right.
And this year's just kind of coming back, not overlooking anybody, playing everybody the same, play them like you're playing for the state championship.
Yes, sir.
A lot about what he said. Last year we could have been a very successful team. We had a few problems chemistry-wise. I mean, there was a lot of bad chemistry going on, a lot of yelling at every other player. I mean, we were all getting mad at each other, and it just didn't help us out during games. I mean, we were too worried about fighting more than playing, you know.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's going to make us more successful this year. We brought back chemistry with each other. I mean, it's like it's a whole brand new family. I mean,
yeah, feel a lot closer now than you did ever before.
And we're just prepared to be ready for some games now. Good chemistry, I guess.
Favorite pregame meal, guys?
Subway.
Yeah. Can't go wrong. Subway, for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking Subway or
no Rivertown barbecue.
They closed down. So
did they?
I mean, yep.
What else we got over there? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, Thai Steakhouse.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
Workman's Travel Center.
Yeah.
Oporto.
Yeah.
Of course, I know this is sacrilegious to y'all, but when I'm close to Boonville, I got to go eat at Reed's Barbecue as well.
Oh, yes.
But,
that's a very good place to eat.
Do they even serve y'all when you go in there? You definitely don't wear the Ozark jerseys.
No, we
for
don't.
Sure.
We don't wear anything like that. If you want to go eat in there,
yeah, I just don't go there.
I'm on the record for saying Reed's is their ribs, and I love Wrights, and I love there's several, but they may not be the biggest always, but I don't think there's any tastier ribs for sure. But yeah, definitely miss Rivertown. They were pretty good for several years. But anytime we do a game over at Ozark, it seems like it was always Rivertown barbecue. Just all kinds of plates in there in the presser. But guys, appreciate y'all coming up here and interviewing with us. We're going to get 2 more of your teammates. But congratulations on getting into this season, getting close. I know we got about 50 days until football starts. So you got Clarksville coming up, week 1. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Casey Moreland and Spencer Gresham. Now we've got number 83 tight end defensive end Rhett Skaggs and number 50 offensive guard Braden Sampley. .3.8 GPA, Coach was boasting about on you there a minute ago. I was talking to another lineman earlier. You know, it's just not true what they say about linemen being dumb, right?
No, not true at all.
What's it like opening hose for guys like Rhett here? Well, where he's more of a tight end, but for guys like Casey and your running backs, you know, Lawson Wright and whoever's out there.
It's pretty fun. I like hitting people and
you like getting downhill.
A chance to go score. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What's it been like playing for Coach so far?
It's been really fun. I feel like the environment has changed. Like, we all want to play. Like, we're more motivated than last year, I feel like, and like the environment has just changed, I'd say.
Yeah, which a lot of times you get a new coach, it's just a new energy comes in as well. And Rhett, talk to me about what it's been like playing for Coach Watson.
It's been real fun, you know. I really like this coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say anything else other
than
I just really like him.
Yes, sir. Played a lot of wide receiver last year. Looks like you're going to play some tight end as well this year. You added a little weight, I guess. And you're also defensive end, do a lot of things for them on defensively. What do you like better, offense or defense?
I like offense more. Coach Bullard really likes me on offense more because I know almost all the plays. So I go in at tight end to help out. I can also go at receiver, block for them out there if they need it.
Yeah.
I just do whatever.
I'm hearing a lot about these multiple formations that, you know, that Coach is bringing to the table, adding to y'all's offense. Tell me how that's kind of gone and what you like about it.
I really like it because not many people can know what we're going to do next, you know. We may be in dead T, like he's saying over there, or we may be in spread. You don't know.
Yes, sir.
And we can run the same plays.
You like playing more out of a bone top offense, the
Yes,
T, or spreading it out?
I like being in the dead T and stuff like that. Running power football more like, I think.
Well, you're a guard, a lot of pulling and getting out and hitting people, getting downhill. Y'all 4 wins last year. You know, that's not the typical Ozark way. Worst season in quite a while, which I know there's a lot of injuries. It wasn't just, y'all weren't talented, because you definitely were. Talk to me about that, and well, also off of that, talk to me about these underclassmen that are coming up. Y'all got a really big sophomore class coming in that's had a lot of talent. So kind of hit me on both of those.
Yes, sir. I would say last year, like, we had the talent stuff, but we just couldn't put it together. We had like a chemistry issue, and then injuries, and like we could never get flowing, if that makes sense. And then this year we got a bunch of talented guys coming up, and like we have so much depth. That's just like trying to get those guys in, get them used to the new plays and stuff like that, making them feel comfortable.
Yes, sir. You got anything you want to add to that?
Nope, not really.
Favorite pregame meal?
We've had a lot over the years. I mean, we've gone to Buren, Arkadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, there was this buffet last year in Arkadelphia that was really good.
Yeah, can't forget about that one, huh?
I get Mexican before every meal.
Oh, really?
Before every game.
Yeah, like 5 hours before or what? You know, for me, I'd have to wait a while. Right, okay. There you go, about 4 hours before. Well, guys, we appreciate y'all coming up here. That is Braden Sampley and Rhett Skaggs, two of the major contributors, seniors here for the Ozark Hillbillies. They got Clarksville coming up week 1. Then they're going to get Boonville and Charleston, all big-time rivalries before they get into conference play against Waldron. Get Waldron at home. They're going to be on the road at Clarksville week 1. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how it all works out and see how y'all gel together and how Coach Watson does with y'all this first year. It's going to be fun to see. Go Hillbillies. Nice meeting y'all. All right, that's it for our Ozark portion. We're going to have 3 more teams coming up. We're going to have a small break. We'll get back, and we'll have Van Buren, Hackett, and Waldron coming out the rest of the day. We'll talk to y'all later.
It's so hot, you're gonna think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not gonna believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 50 days till the kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
All right, we're back. We've got Van Buren in the house now, the host here for us today. Head coach Mo Henry with me, coming off a 4-8 season last year. Made the playoffs though, a couple years in a row now. Y'all been into the playoffs. Got a win as well, big win over Marion. Talk to me about last year's team a little bit and what you liked and what you didn't like and what y'all are trying to work on to get better this year.
Yeah, last year's team, starting off, we had the ambitions to, go through the season and figure out how we can be competitive in each game. In this league, it's tough. But we just try to go to the next game and try to get better. We had two really standout players last year for us at receiver with Cooley and Cam Keller running the ball for us. So we weighed a lot on those guys and was playing a lot of new guys at positions and stuff, so it's just really kind of filling ourselves out throughout the season. Obviously you have games where you miss cues and doing things like that, but we knew that just being able to make in the playoffs in this league, it gives us a chance to go be competitive in it. But we also know that making the playoffs as a 6th seed is kind of limited our expectations because of the league that we do play in. So just coming off of last year, that's things that we're trying to fix some of the little things and just be more consistent.
Yes, sir. You started off the year against Alma, big rivalry, played at Alma, got that win by 10, 37-27. That started you off on the right foot. Then, like you said, you definitely get into some very tough competition as you get into conference play especially. But you had some close games mixed in there that you weren't able to come out on top of. At Russellville was a tough one that night. Marion late in the year, well, that was a win. I'm sorry, I apologize about that. Just talk to me about what you liked that you've seen so far in this off season. I know you got a quarterback battle. It looks like going on. You got several guys that y'all been trying to figure out who's going to start there. I know Tristan Ray's a young one. Actually, he's a senior. There's some other ones on there. Cooper Reedmore. Rittenauer, I'm sorry. And Hayden Wilford Jr. Talk to me about how that's looking up.
Well, it just kind of, going into last season, our quarterback, we were pretty stable with that. We had a 3-year starter that just graduated, so we was trying to figure out who was going to be our next guy. And so that started off as a quarterback battle between Tristan and Hayden, at that time being a junior and sophomore. And coming out of spring ball, we felt comfortable that Tristan probably had a little advantage on him that way, so we kind of named him the starter, and he ended up going down in our scrimmage. And so Hayden had to step up and be a signal caller for the season. So going into this season, this spring, we get a transfer from Westport with Cooper Rittenauer going into his senior year. He's a big kid, big arm guy. But I knew the competition part of it was gonna be interesting because obviously when you start at 9 games, then there's something that you can always take from that. And Tristan, he's that guy that he's just a sturdy mindset type of guy. So I know with him being healthy, everything in his mindset was. I'm going to be the starting quarterback, and
yes, sir.
So having 2 seniors with confidence like that, and then the third guy that's coming in with experience, I mean, it's a healthy competition to be able to evaluate, and all 3 of those guys bring some value to the table being at quarterback. So still interesting to see what that looks like for us as a dynamic as a flow from offense.
Yes, sir. Talk to me about your running back room a little bit and what's going on in that room.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, once again, it's coming off of Cam as running back. I had all kind of records here at Van Buren, which is saying a lot from a running game, doing that. But, going in for 3 years, it's only been Cameron. He was our running back room. And so thankful for us. He was a durable kid, did what he needed to do to be durable for us. But this year, obviously, we got to go into the mindset of, we don't have him to rely on as that workhorse. But I think our room diversifies a little bit more. I think we got more guys back there. Obviously, they're young. This sophomore class that we have, I mean, they have 3 running backs that got a lot of carries and everything last year for them. So multiple guys that have access to help us out back there in the backfield. And probably leading the pack is Hayden Christenberry. Hayden is a guy that comes in. Yeah, he's physically more advanced and physically ready to play in this league. I think he's about 6 foot 200 or something like that. Very strong kid. So he's the one that we're probably going to start off with, initiating with. But we got a couple of guys. Jalen Brown is a great change of pace guy for him. We got some other guys that are back there that are, some coming off of injury, some are have an opportunity to play. So a little bit more of a running back room there. Probably lacking more of the leadership that we've been used to with the experience of Cam. But hopefully, having 2 other. The quarterback room being as experienced as that is something that we can lean on to help those guys.
Yes, sir. Got some linemen returning. Kyron Johnson, one of the headliners, the junior. Talk to me about how the line's gelling so far this year and looking to kind of open holes for those running backs and the quarterbacks. Yeah, most definitely. We do. We got a good experience, quality of guys coming back on the offensive line. Starting in the middle, and Johnny Saxon-Fu is a kid that we brought up as a 9th grader, and he started for us the whole season as a 9th grader 2 seasons ago. So he's going into his junior season. Played a lot. So that's comforting to have someone at that position that can be able to do that. And we got 2 seniors with A.J. Whitmore and Jacob Magnabar that are very staples for us on that offensive line. Both of those guys have a lot of experience, been starting for a long time. So just really trying to see where those guys are going to go on the offensive line to be able to field. And like I said, we got Kyron and Lucas Brown and Miles Oates are some other young guys that are good bodies from a physical standpoint that can help us. Jensen Hill is another one that can go in and give us some depth at it. So even at once again, that's just good competition that's going to be able to allow flexibility or things like that for Coach Van Hook on the offensive line. Yes, sir. Talk about your receivers a little bit. Austin Riggs, you brought here with us today. He's all conference last year, had about 591 yards, 3 touchdowns. Guy you can lean on out there, experienced guy. How are you looking depth-wise at receiver? Honestly, I think, we've been coming off of multiple seasons with having that go-to receiver.
Austin has every capability of being that guy for us. Statistically, I think it doesn't really speak volumes for him because, having a receiver like Trenton last year and then a heavy run game with Cam, that there's only so many, opportunities for him to get it. But the few he had, he definitely excelled in them. And so I think those opportunities are going to come more often for him. And he just consistently make plays. I mean, he's just a playmaker on the ball. And but as far as around him, I think we have an opportunity to have more support and help with him. We've got Teray Wilford is a guy that wasn't in the limelight a whole lot for us last year. He was a kick returner for us, but this guy that was one of the better guys on our track relay team that went and won state this year. And so looking for some big plays out of him at receiver. Abe Cone is another one that's been showing some good promise here this spring and summer. He's coming off of injury, but he, as a sophomore last year, he showed that he had the mental capacity to play on Friday night. But right now he's coming off of a little bit getting slowly into it, but he's someone that's helping us at receiver, being able to make plays there. And we got some other young guys, like I said, with that sophomore class that come in. Draynon Brower is a sophomore that's going to get a lot of action for us. Kingsley Cook is another sophomore at receiver that'll be able to get some reps for us. Phillip Steele is one that came in. He's gotten a lot of reps. He's going in his senior year. But like I said, I just think that our receiving core may not have the standout guy that's just going to be, the front run leader of that group. But I think we have a chance to have more supporting guys around them.
Yes, sir. Y'all run a lot of tight end sets at all? You spread it out mostly?
We this year, I almost anticipate that we probably would do a little bit more tight end H-back stuff this year. I think we've found a body type for us that Coach really likes to be able to put on there. Probably he's converted offensive lineman, defense, and I don't know how long he'll be able to play a tight end position for us. But Thomas Cole is a sophomore that's coming in, and Coach just really liked his energy, his tenacity, and he can't catch, and so obviously that helps. But probably one of our more fiercest and aggressive blockers under point of contact. So trying to find a way to get him on the football field, and so really almost a glorified offensive lineman that has the ability to move and be able to catch ball. So there's a chance that if it's needed, that we can very much be in a tight end set.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about the defense for a little while here. I know you brought linebacker Darren Mays in the house today. We're going to talk to him in a moment as well. Comes back with a lot of experience, about 75 tackles, a couple sacks last year. Talk to me about the linebacker core and what you are looking at to be a strength on defense this year.
In our defense, we've got to do a lot of moving and doing things like that. So our linebackers are equipped to get a lot of tackles and things like that. But Darren was actually our second leading tackler, but we also lost our top 5 of our 6 tacklers. And so just being able to be opportunistic and being able to make plays. But Darren's someone that's going to have some leadership and experience at the linebacker position. Jace Ponder's one that, a kid that's going to his senior year that we're kind of hoping that can kind of solidify that Mike Backer position for us. And we got, a couple of other guys that are there to play the weak side linebacker. Like I said, a couple of young guys, some of the new guys. But I feel like we're going to be faster as a whole, as a linebacker crew. And not to knock our because our linebackers crew wasn't fast as a whole, but we were really good tacklers, and so still got to see that part of it and see if we're going to be able to tackle, because a linebacker that can't tackle is just useless to you. But trying to get a lot of leadership out of that group from those guys, because like I said, Jace is someone that he played sparingly, but he's been here and he's a leader type guy. So excited and trying to see how that's going to open up for him.
Yes, sir.
With that group.
What if you had to name a group on defense that might be your brightest spot right now? What would you say it might be? Defensive line, linebackers, or secondary?
Well, it really right now they're kind of hit and miss. I mean, we got things that all of them do some good on. I think our most important, to me, I feel like is going to be that back end. We're going to mix some young skill guys in there, but as far as coming back with the amount of experience and being able to play, I think this season with the secondary guys on the back end is, whether it's the two corners and our three safeties, that all five of those positions have guys in there that has, got to play and got some experience last year. So
yes, sir.
With finishing last in point scoring in the conference on defense, then from my standpoint, it's got to start from that back end, because the first thing I think of is giving up big plays and doing things like that. So that's something that we've been really focusing on this year and been minimized, and obviously not 100% satisfied with it, but it's been minimized to a point. But just all the units, I think they've been slowly making progression and just kind of hit and miss with all of them.
Yes, sir. So last year making the playoffs again, I know that it's not the goal to just make it to the playoffs, but it is something that you can give yourself a small pat on the back, because it's such a tough conference. But going into this year and what you've seen so far in the off season, what would you say would be Van Buren had a successful season if this happens?
Well, one thing that we're looking at, and I've been talking to the guys about, is we're trying to be realistic, be realistic with our goals, and we do, just for the same that we tell them that, it doesn't matter how hard you work or how much you feel like you deserve it. Your accolades or your pats on the backs are gonna come from what you're producing and what you're putting on the field, and until we show that we can be able to do that, no one on the outside of our inner circles are going to give us credit for that. But on the other hand of that, we have a lot of teams in our conference that have shown that they've been consistent with that. And so, getting the Greenwoods and the Shilohs, and it's a deal where, you got to show that and prove that you can beat them until they, no one's going to give you the benefit of doubt. And we also have a second tier of teams, I think, that are that way too. And for us, the Mountain Homes and the Lake Hamiltons, until we beat them, they can't, no one's going to give us credit. So, for us, I think that, I mentioned it earlier, that the first hurdle for us is to say, can we, not to make the playoffs, but what position are we in to be able to make the playoffs? So being able to finish in a third, fourth in that realm, to be able to be competitive, to say that we can host a playoff game, I think if we're in a situation where we can host a playoff game, we help ourselves in the next round to be able to kind of move that needle a little bit. And then if we're in that position to do that, then the record would speak for itself as well. So I think that goal itself, I think, is an ultimate deal for us from trying to measure our success this season.
Yes, sir. Well, looks like you got a lot of you got some talented guys that you've got some experience in spots, but you got some guys that kind of were behind some guys that led y'all last year, that it's their time to shine now. But it looks like you definitely got some young guys as well, a pretty good sophomore class that they're going to get some playing time this year and going to help some things moving forward. But, Coach Henry, it's been a lot of fun having you up here and talking to us today about the Van Buren Pointers. And I'm looking forward to finding out how it all works out for you. And week one, got Alma at home this year. It's going to be a big rivalry.
Yep.
And I know everybody packs that one out, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Good luck. Thanks for talking to you. We're going to get some of your players up here, Coach, and we'll go from there.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Go Pointers.
Yes, sir. Looks like we're going to get Tristan Ray and Austin Riggs up in here first. Riggs, number 10. Number 8 here is Tristan Ray. So Tristan got hurt a little bit last year, is that correct?
Yes,
and
sir.
weren't able to play a whole lot. Talk to me about what it's been like getting back from that injury and working in that quarterback battle this offseason.
I mean, the injury in the spring, it was just a setback for me, but I've never been more determined, and I've been working hard the whole time I've been out, harder than I've ever worked, and I feel like I'm coming in pretty good to this season.
Yes, sir. Tristan, Austin, you had about almost 600 yards receiving last year, playing behind a really good senior receiver last year. It's your turn now to kind of possibly lead that group, and what are you looking forward to going into this season?
I mean, I'm looking forward to just a great year. He's returning. We just got a great offense, I feel like, and just to help be a part of that, I feel like it's a great opportunity. I didn't get to showcase like all my skills last year due to being behind a few receivers that were really good. But I'm really excited for the opportunity.
Yeah. Coach acted like you had a lot of faith in you, and that the number of yards you put up where you're running the ball so much and you're throwing to one of your headliners, were still very impressive. So he's really sounded like he's excited about what you could actually do this year, and got a pretty good group behind you all that work hard. Tristan, talk to me about what it's like playing against some of the competition y'all see every week in this conference.
I mean, the competition since 9th grade, it's been about the same. I mean, it's a pretty good conference, but I feel like when we break it down and study them, there's like openings that you can get to, and it's pretty good.
Yes, sir. Are you kind of a dual threat quarterback? Do you like to run the ball as well?
Yeah, I've always been a runner and hard hitter. I've never really run out of bounds, but I like throwing the ball too. Pretty good.
Yes, sir. Talk to me about Coach's offense. You kind of run a lot of different sets and do a lot of different things. And what do you like about that?
I mean, I like the way that we can run it and then come back and throw it. It really confuses the defense, I feel like, and we can get openings in and find out the defense's weaknesses, and he knows how to call that pretty well.
Yes, sir. Austin, you ever get a ball on like a jet sweep type of action? You ever get to carry the ball as
Yes,
well?
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like? You like those opportunities, or you
Yes,
like
sir.
it when they throw it to you more?
I love catching the ball,
Yeah.
making plays downfield, but, running behind them big linemen, that's always a plus.
Right. Yeah, you got more blocking, that's for sure, when you get the ball close to the line of scrimmage there.
Yes, sir.
Pre-game meal, what's y'all's favorite?
I think my sophomore year, one of the best ones we had was spaghetti and pasta. I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with him. We had some pasta grill, and it was really good.
You still remember it from 2 years ago, so it must have been a really good one. Yeah, you can't go wrong with pasta grill for sure.
No.
Guys, I appreciate y'all coming up here. We got one of your other players up here, Darren May. He's going to get him in here and talk to him as well. But good luck on the season, and go Pointers, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Sure.
I guess you drew the short straw and they made you go by yourself, huh?
Yes, sir.
Senior Darren Mays, outside linebacker. Coach said you're about 5'9", 185.
Sir.
Coming back off a good year at linebacker, one of the leading tacklers on the team. What's it like with some new guys around you this year and kind of being one of the leaders now?
Oh, it's definitely a big step for sure. We got a lot of young guys coming up. Need to step up. I think being the leader this year is a big role to our defense for sure. I mean, last year I wasn't really there was two seniors in front of me playing linebacker, so I just kind of looked up to them. So.
Yes, sir. What's it like playing for Coach Henry? Is he pretty tough on y'all?
Oh, yeah, I love
a teddy bear?
I love Coach Henry.
Okay.
Very funny guy.
What did it feel like beating Alma last year?
Oh, my gosh. Just joy.
Right.
Straight joy. I mean, I'm trying to finish the year 3-0, though, so
right.
It's not over for me.
Right. Big one coming up. They got a lot of guys coming back as well, so ought to be a really good one like always. Y'all got a playoff win last year, I believe, against Marion. Is that, yeah, 29-26. And how did that one feel?
Oh, it's like sign of proving everybody wrong
right.
again. Once again, we got a lot of doubters, a lot of haters, and I'm just looking forward to get it past that third round.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, you got in as the 6th seed, but getting a win in the first round, I mean, a lot of people didn't think y'all were going to be able to do that, and you were able to prove them wrong. And that, I know I've seen Marion, and a lot of talent on that team, a lot of athletes. So big win, and it's your turn now to be a senior and kind of lead this team. And I know y'all are trying to get off that 6 seed line and get down to maybe a 3 or a 4 or even better, hopefully. Talk to me about your defensive line up in front of you and how much you depend on those guys to kind of do their job, stay in their gaps, and That way y'all can make the right plays on defense and be in the right assignments.
Yeah, our defensive line, they've all been starters since sophomore year. Pretty solid, always done their job. They make plays here and they're really good this year, so I think we'll be pretty solid in the box for sure.
Yes, sir. Well, I think that's about all we got. Favorite pregame meal? You got a particular thing you eat every time, or is it just whoever caters? It don't matter.
Whoever caters, but
Yeah.
I'd say probably Raisin Cane's for sure.
Oh yeah, can't go
Solid.
wrong.
Solid.
You get the box meal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure.
All right, that cane sauce or you
Double.
ranch?
You gotta double it.
Oh
Cane
yeah.
sauce, double it.
They make you pay for that extra one though, man.
I know.
Ain't right.
I know. Yeah.
Well, nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you.
That's Darren Mays, outside linebacker for the Van Buren Pointers. They're excited about this season. Got Alma coming up week 1 or week 0, and it's going to be a fun rivalry here. But thank you all for coming. We're going to close it out for now. We're going to have a couple more later. We'll come back. We're going to be back about 3 o'clock. We'll have Hackett and Waldron to close out the day. That's it for now. For Dre Miller and Justin Smith and the Van Buren Pointers, we'll see y'all in a little while.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
It's so hot, you're gonna think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not gonna believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.